So if you are migrating data from PipeDrive to HubSpot, I want to show you a really awesome trick that you can use to quickly go back and reference old contact or deal records or organization records in PipeDrive directly from within the contact record that was created inside of HubSpot. So we're going to be using calculated fields inside of HubSpot, and we're going to be using the PipeDrive record ID that we would have imported in a previous video. So if you're curious on how to do the round trip and cross-referencing of PipeDrive IDs into HubSpot and get the HubSpot IDs back into PipeDrive, that's in a separate video. But let me dive in here with one of these migrations we're doing right now and show you what would need to be in place for this to work. So I'm looking at a contact here, and one of the fields that I have in the background is the where's it at? I call it the PipeDrive person ID. So the PipeDrive person ID, and I'm adding this to the view. So right here, you can see that we have the PipeDrive person ID now. What I want, that's actually kind of funny that apparently he's the first one in PipeDrive. That's weird that PipeDrive does that. We want to create a new field inside of HubSpot. And this is going to be a property, contact property, created property. And this is going to be called PipeDrive person URL. And we'll even call it record URL, PipeDrive person record URL. And so this is going to be a calculated field, and we want it to be a custom equation, and the output is going to be a string. And this is just going to be concatenate. Actually, let's do an if statement. If PipeDrive person ID exists, then I want to do concatenate. And now I'm going to go back to PipeDrive and get, if we look up a person here. So let's look up Kiefer. So I'm grabbing this, and I'm inside of HubSpot. I'm going to put in this URL, but take out those last characters at the end. That's the person ID. And then so we want to concatenate that with the person PipeDrive person ID. And that's it. So what do we got here? This is a number. Does it just not like that if statement? Okay, we're going to try and remove this and just do concatenate like that. Oh, actually, I bet I know what it is. We're going to undo. So if and we're going to bring in ChatGPT for this in HubSpot. right, so asking ChatGPT in HubSpot calculated fields, I would want if does not equal concatenate number to string. So it should be right. If PipeDrive person ID. Okay, so it looks like we're just going to do it this way. Number to string the person ID. And let's try doing the one test formula. Here's the URL. I can copy, paste it, and takes me straight to that contact. Okay, so we did that. Now let's go ahead and create that. And I want to do it also for the company. So we're going to do another one here that's going to be called PipeDrive organization record URL. And once again, this is going to be a calculation. And we want this to be custom string. And we're going to do if organization ID is not equal to a blank, then, or actually, sorry, we're just not going to do that part anyways. We're just going to do concatenate and that with the number to string and the organization ID. And then let's go get that organization here. So click on organization, copy, paste that in here. It's already a string, so I don't need it in this one. Okay, so there's that. And once again, let's just put a one, test. There we go. So we're good with that one. And then also going to do this for deal. So PipeDrive deal record URL. And we want this to be a calculated field. Calculation, formatted, let's do a string. And this one's going to be concatenate. Let's get the deal. Copy. PipeDrive deal ID. And create. Okay, so now I've added all of those. So one for the company, deal, all that stuff. And now let's go to the record views. So I'm looking at contacts and open up this. And I'm going to add, so I have my PipeDrive person ID. And I'm going to add one more down below here that's called PipeDrive person record URL. And we're going to save that, save and exit. Let's go to the company, edit this, and we're going to add PipeDrive organization record URL and save that. And then we're going to go to the deal PipeDrive deal record URL, and hit save and exit. So now on any one of these, this is the one deal that doesn't have it. So let's go to one of these other ones. If I open this up, I can see that I have this one not have a PipeDrive URL. Ooh, this might have been one of the ones that was just created, which means I got an error in my make automation. So when we create a deal, yes, I need to make sure that I'm adding PipeDrive deal ID. So the last couple that I just created here, let's go look them up in here. My HubSpot ending in 373, ending in 373, that's the one. So I want this copy. PipeDrive deal ID, save. So now I have the PipeDrive deal ID. I can open that up. Takes me straight to that deal. And there we go. So that is a little hack. You can do that again from any contact or deal or company for that matter, and be able to go straight back to the old system to see where that, like what the status or the deal is with that particular contact. So here's an example of this one. I've got the URL now. I can just open it up. Takes me straight back to PipeDrive in that person's record. Hopefully that was helpful. And keep in mind, migration is the toughest part of getting a new system up and running. If it's not smooth, it can wreak havoc on your organization. It can stretch out for months and months and months. You would not believe the horror stories that I've heard of 6, 9 months, 12 month implementations of a new CRM, and they're still using the old system. So at Boolean, we're a huge advocate of making the transition swift and condense it down to a weekend. But things like this allow for, in that week or 2 weeks prior, quickly being able to go back and rectify or look through or verify that information that was in the old CRM matches exactly what you want to see in the new CRM. So that's the process that we always use. Hopefully you found that valuable, and we'll see you in the next video.